You know that moment when you finally get the promotion, the bonus hits your account, or your salary jumps into six figures, and for about 2 weeks you feel like you've made it? Then the bills come in. The new apartment you deserved after all those years grinding. The nicer car that actually matches your new title. The vacations you tell yourself are about recharging so you can keep performing at this level. And somehow, you still feel the same quiet pressure at the end of every month. Like the number on your paycheck got bigger, but the relief never showed up. If you've ever earned more than you ever thought you would and still wondered why money feels just as tight as it did back when you were making half as much, you're not alone, and you're definitely not broken. Today we're talking about the spending trap that quietly catches so many high earners. If you're finding this helpful already, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button. It helps these kinds of calm, honest conversations reach more people who might be feeling the same thing. And if you want more videos like this, go ahead and subscribe. I drop new ones every couple of weeks. Most of us were taught that the path to financial peace is simple. Earn more. Climb the ladder. Get the raise. Once your income crosses a certain line, the stress is supposed to fade. But for a surprising number of people pulling in six figures, doctors, tech professionals, lawyers, executives, it doesn't work that way. They look successful on paper. Nice house, good schools for the kids, the ability to eat out without thinking twice. Yet many still live with this low-level anxiety about money. Some even feel like they're one unexpected expense away from scrambling. The common story is that these folks are just bad with money or reckless spenders. That's not usually true. The real issue is something quieter and more universal: lifestyle creep, or what some call lifestyle inflation. Your spending gently rises to meet and then match your new income. The extra money doesn't pile up. It gets absorbed into a slightly upgraded version of normal life. And here's what's tricky. It doesn't feel like a mistake when it's happening. Each upgrade feels reasonable. You worked hard. You earned it. Your friends and colleagues are doing the same thing. Why shouldn't you enjoy it? The problem isn't that you're enjoying your success. It's that the upgrades become fixed costs before you realize it. And your brain starts treating yesterday's luxuries as today's necessities. Suddenly, the salary that once would have felt abundant now feels normal, and the peace you were waiting for never quite arrives. Let me paint a picture that might feel familiar. Imagine you're a few years into your career, making a solid but not flashy salary, say $80,000 or $90,000. You rent a decent one-bedroom, cook most nights, drive an older car, and maybe take one affordable trip a year. Money is manageable, even if it's not abundant. Then the promotion comes. Your income jumps to $140,000. It feels incredible. So you move to a nicer two-bedroom in a better neighborhood because now you can afford it. You upgrade the car because the old one feels out of place in the new parking garage. You start eating out more, not because you're wasteful, but because your time is more valuable and you're tired after long days. The kids' activities get upgraded. The family vacation becomes international instead of a drive to the lake. None of these choices feel extravagant in the moment. They feel like natural progress. But over time, your fixed expenses have quietly climbed to absorb almost all of the raise. The margin you thought you'd have for saving or investing, it's gone. Psychologically, this makes a lot of sense. Humans are wired for relative comparison. When your income rises, your peer group and environment shift too. You start seeing what other people at your new level have, and your brain recalibrates what enough looks like. It's not greed, it's adaptation. Your sense of normal expands. There's also something called mental accounting at play. You tend to treat the extra income as fun money rather than real money that could compound over time. The raise feels like a reward to be enjoyed now, not a tool for future freedom. And then there's the status element. For many high earners, especially in competitive fields, spending becomes a subtle signal. The right address, the right schools, the right vacations, they're not just comforts. They become part of how you prove you belong. It's easy to tell yourself it's an investment in your career or your family's future, when in reality, it's quietly raising the floor you need just to feel okay. I've heard stories from people earning $300,000 or more who still feel the same tightness they did at $100,000. Their expenses scaled right along with their income. Bigger mortgage, higher property taxes, premium insurance, private school tuition, multiple subscriptions, nicer everything. The math works on paper until it doesn't. A job change, a health issue, or even just wanting to slow down becomes terrifying because the lifestyle requires the high income to stay afloat. It's like running on a treadmill that keeps speeding up. You're working harder, earning more, but you never quite step off into the peace you imagined. The quiet tragedy is that compound interest, the real superpower of money, needs time and consistent surplus to work its magic. When every raise gets spoken for by lifestyle upgrades, that surplus never materializes. 10 years later, you're still dependent on the next paycheck, just at a much higher level. So what changes everything? It's a small but powerful mindset shift, realizing that your income is a tool, not a scoreboard, and that real financial peace doesn't come from earning more. It comes from creating a gap between what you earn and what you spend, then protecting that gap on purpose. The turning point is when you stop asking, "What can I now afford?" and start asking, "What do I actually want my money to do for me and my family over the next 10 or 20 years?" When you make that switch, the upgrades stop feeling automatic. You begin to see each spending decision as a trade-off against future options: more time, less stress, the ability to say no to work that no longer serves you, or simply sleeping better at night knowing you have options. It's not about depriving yourself. It's about being intentional, enjoying the fruits of your labor without letting them quietly handcuff you to a lifestyle that demands you keep running at full speed. So how do you actually apply this without swinging to the other extreme of extreme frugality that doesn't fit your life? First, protect the gap before lifestyle finds it. When you get a raise or bonus, decide in advance what percentage goes straight to savings or investing before it ever hits your checking account in a way that feels spendable. Automate it. Make it invisible. Let the rest be for living. Second, audit your new normals every so often. Look at the big fixed costs: housing, cars, subscriptions, education, travel. Ask yourself honestly, which of these still feel worth it? Which ones crept in and now feel necessary only because we've gotten used to them? You don't have to cut everything, but even pausing one or two upgrades can create meaningful breathing room. Third, separate status from substance. It's okay to enjoy nice things. The question is whether they're serving your actual values or just signaling to people whose opinions probably don't determine your happiness anyway. Some of the calmest high earners I know drive reliable cars, live in perfectly fine homes, and still travel well. They just don't let every category inflate at once. Fourth, build in some deliberate enjoyment without guilt. Plan for experiences or small upgrades that genuinely recharge you, but treat them as conscious choices, not automatic responses to more income. This keeps the lifestyle from creeping while still letting you feel the reward of your hard work. And finally, remember that progress is about direction, not perfection. You don't need to optimize every dollar. You just need to keep a portion of your earnings working for your future self instead of disappearing into upgraded versions of the present. At the end of the day, money is supposed to support the life you want, not trap you in a more expensive version of stress. If you're a high earner who still feels that quiet pressure, know that it doesn't mean you failed. It means you're human, and the systems around us, social, psychological, even cultural, make this trap incredibly easy to fall into. The good news is, you don't have to overhaul everything overnight. Small, thoughtful decisions to protect some of that surplus can compound into real freedom over time. The ability to breathe easier. The option to work because you want to, not because you have to. The peace of knowing your lifestyle doesn't own you. You've already proven you can earn. Now it's about learning to keep some of that earning for the version of life that actually feels lighter. Progress beats perfection every single time. You're not behind. You're just waking up to how the game really works. If this resonated, I'd love to hear in the comments. What's one area where you've noticed lifestyle creep showing up in your own life? And what's one small thing you're thinking about adjusting? Thanks for spending this time with me. Take care of yourself out there.